Today I'm going to show you how to make a quick and delicious crock-pot Philly cheesesteak using a beautiful chuck roast from Quarles Farm. I've started off by using a crock-pot liner in my crock-pot just to save on cleanup. We're going to add in our defrosted chuck roast here, add a big pinch of kosher salt to the top of this, and then some freshly cracked black pepper. I really like a lot of cracked pepper on my beef, so we're just going to add quite a bit, but adjust this to your liking. We're also going to add a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder for some extra flavor. We're going to make sure that we rub this in, and we're going to flip over our chuck roast and do the exact same thing to the other side. Once both sides are well seasoned, we are going to add in some beef stock or beef broth just to keep this well hydrated while it cooks low and slow. We're going to add the top to this and then let it cook on low for about 8 hours until it is nice and tender and so juicy. Once your beef is nearly done, it is time to get our Philly cheesesteak toppings together. So here I am just going to thinly slice up an onion so that we can sauté it, get it nice and soft, and we'll have delicious peppers and onions to add to our sandwich. Once we have our onion sliced up and our pepper done off camera, we are ready to sauté these up. So I have a sauté pan here. I gave it a drizzle of olive oil, enough to coat the bottom. And we're going to just add in our peppers and onions, give them a really good mix, and we're going to cook these on medium heat until they are nice and softened. You want to make sure you get that raw onion flavor out, and we're just going to make sure that we stir these every once in a while just so all of the onions and peppers get cooked evenly. As you can see here, the onions have softened really nicely and gotten a caramely color. Our peppers are looking delicious, and these, let me tell you, smell incredible. So we're just going to add these to a bowl and set them off to the side so that we can assemble our Philly cheesesteak. While our peppers and onions were finishing up, I added my bread into the oven just to warm up and crisp a little bit. I have a French batard here that I found is really good for a Philly cheesesteak, but hoagies are the traditional route and are just as delicious. I'm just going to slice my batard here in half, and then it is time to add the star of our show, our chuck roast. If you've noticed before or worked with a chuck roast, you know that it has a little bit of fat on it, but one of the reasons why we didn't cut it off is that this fat adds a lot of flavor. When you cook the meat low and slow, it helps baste the meat or melt into the meat, and so chuck roast, which comes from the shoulder, is actually one of the most flavorful pieces of meat that you can get. At Quarles Farm, many times you can get your meat bone in, which is always going to add more flavor. So in this case of chuck roast, we have a really flavorful meat already with the fat and the bone in, but we've also added all of those extra seasonings, and we're going to add even more toppings. With only a few ingredients, we're creating a delicious, deeply flavorful sandwich, and bonus, it is cost effective. We're going to add on those sautéed peppers and onions, and then some sliced provolone cheese. We're going to add this to the oven under the broiler just to get all melty, and then this is ready to enjoy. We sliced this up, plated it, gave it a taste, and it was chef approved. Head on out to the Lexington Farmers Market and Douglas Loop Farmers Market this weekend so that you can get your beef, lamb, and goat from Quarles Farm. I know the Quarles family would love to show you what kind of cuts they have. And of course, you have to grab yourself a chuck roast now so that you can give this delicious crock-pot Philly cheesesteak recipe a try.